into historical context with a historian, or in this particular instance, geographical context. Specifically, where was Gull Beach? Well, technically nowhere because it's fictional. But you might wonder where exactly the author of the book, Jerry West, was thinking that it was. Well, in order to find that out, we have to do some detective work, just like the Hollisters. Now, first of all, we know a few things. We know that the author of the Happy Hollisters actually lived in New Jersey. And so it makes sense that probably he was imagining Shoreham, where the Hollisters live, as being in New Jersey. Makes sense. That's probably where they live. That's probably where he imagined Shoreham being, is somewhere in New Jersey. And so therefore we have to assume that Gull Beach would be a couple of good days' drive away from New Jersey. So that's one thing. But we have a lot more information than that if we look in the book. First of all, obviously we know that Gull Beach is due west of Spain. The Frog Rock looks across to Spain. We know that it's directly across from Spain. However, if you look at a map of Spain, which I have for you here, you will see that this is a little bit of a problem because Spain shares a region called the Iberian Peninsula with Portugal. And you have Spain touching the Atlantic Ocean, and then south of that you have Portugal touching the Atlantic Ocean, and then south of that again you have Spain again, because Spain sort of curves around Portugal. And so which of those two is it? Is it northern Spain or is it southern Spain? Well, we can learn that from the book as well. When we first meet Rachel, she is sitting on top of a dune gazing across to Spain. And when she comes down to talk to the Hollister children, she tells them that Gull Beach is due west of Spain, but more than that, she tells them that it is due west from southern Spain. So that narrows it down for us. As you can see here, this is the region of Spain that Gull Beach would be across from. All right, so that narrows it down a lot. What is directly due west of that specific region of Spain? Here's a new map. This is the American Atlantic seaboard, the east coast of America. You can see New Jersey, little bitty, up at the top. And so what part of this is directly across from that southern region of Spain that is facing out into the Atlantic? Well, it turns out if you carry the lines of latitude all the way across, you end up with possibly the very, very southern bit of Virginia, but probably the northern half of North Carolina is where that ends up being. So Gull Beach probably would be in the northern half of North Carolina, and that does make sense because there are some beautiful beaches there, and it is a good couple days drive south of New Jersey. And so we can therefore guess that this region here is more or less where Gull Beach probably would be. Probably in the northern half of North Carolina, possibly very far southern Virginia, probably the northern half of North Carolina. And so when you're thinking about Gull Beach, that is the area that you should be picturing, somewhere along the coast there, probably of North Carolina, which is a pretty nice thing to be able to figure that out, that the author gave us enough clues to pinpoint where that would be.